Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Card Craft. Thanks for joining me again today. Still a little bit more with our 6x6 paper pads this week. I want to create flips with them. Well, Let's step back. I had one of my wonderful subscribers send me an idea that she came up with for using her 6x6 paper pads. Carol, thank you so much. I love this idea. It is just awesome. It involves my 6x6 paper pads to use them up, but it includes flips. You know, guys, that I love my flips and my tucks and all the rest. So this encompasses both of them. So here's the journal I'm working on at the moment. You would have seen lately because I've been doing bits and pieces in it with all the things that we've been doing. So if I head off over here, none of this is sewn in yet. I tend to work on my signatures and all the rest. I usually don't tuck anything in just yet. That's just sitting there while I'm working things out. But I'll work on my signatures, get my pockets in and all the rest before I sew it in, and then I start filling them. This is the tuck that Carol came up with, the flip out. It is beautiful. It uses 2 sheets of our paper pads, our small paper pads. I keep saying 6x6, but the majority of mine are 6.5 by 6.5. It'll work with any of them. Look, you could have a 4x4 paper pad if you want and do a mini version. You could use your 12x12s, trim them down a little bit, depending on the size of your journal. So just work off that. If you're one of those people that does large journals, like 6x9s, things like that, you can make them larger. Do a selection up in neutral tonings that you can then sit aside ready to decorate to go in whatever journal you're doing. I love having pre-made ephemera bits and pockets and things like that that I can then just use when I'm doing a journal. So this is Carol's little pocket flip. So we have a pocket here. Now I've got to hang on to it because it's in my center signature, so it's going to really move. We turn it over. We've got another pocket here. We've got a belly band here, and it's attached to the page on this side. And I've just popped a journaling space here. Now, you could pop another belly band in here. You could pop another pocket. It is up to you. But it is literally just 2 sheets of your small paper pads. Now, with this one, because all of them, might have a few, so let's say the majority. The majority of my paper pads are single-sided. I have a lot of Kaiser Craft ones, and they're all single-sided. So they're the ones that I'm trying to work my way through. I do have some double-sided Stamperia, Couture Creations, things like that, but I tend to use them even more, whereas these Kaiser ones have been sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. So I want to use these. They are single-sided, so I'll show you how we'll create our double-sided because they look better double-sided, so it gives you something on the other side. So I'm just going to sit this one aside. I'll sit that over there. So the paper pad I'm using this time is actually a wedding paper pad. I don't know why I've got it. It would have been from the shop days. It's called Something Blue, and you can see I've hardly used anything out of this pad. So yes, there are elements in here that I know I will use. There are lots of elements in here that I know I will never use. I don't do wedding albums. Some of these, I'll get journal spots off and it's just a matter of cutting around them. But there is a lot of wedding, but there is a lot of plain basic ones as well. So I can get through the rest of this. So why haven't I? Let's go and start to it. So the one that I've already done has been from this paper pad, and we're going to do one today out of this paper pad again. So I've pulled 2 sheets out. In these tonings, I haven't gone to the black ones because I want them to go into that journal that I'm creating at the moment. So that they're already done, I can tuck them into the start of, it's only one signature, this journal, because it's from a book that's been gutted, so it's only got about a 1/2 inch spine. So it's only a 1 signature journal. So I will put this early on in the start, and then that one is at the start of halfway through. So I'm going to move that one out. So this again is what I want as my pocket. So I'm just going to sit him aside. This is what I want as my base, but he's white. So I want to clear that white and make this a patterned paper. And for me, the easiest way to do this, oh, that'll be fun. My antique linen lid was off slightly, and it's been really hot lately. So I'm just getting a good amount of antique linen, and that's the oxide. Doesn't worry me whether they're oxide or ink. And I'm just going to lightly go around and give this a blotchy look. So I'm starting each time, excuse me, starting each time off my page, turning it round and going in. So I've got a slightly darker edge, but then I'm going through. If I put this straight on, I'll end up with that circle, and we don't want that. So start off your page and then keep going in a circular motion. That's why I like these over the silicone mats, the silicone ones, because I find that I move them as I go, whereas this doesn't move on me, and then I can just clean it straight off the glass. So I've given that a slightly blotchy look. I'm just going into areas that I can see. I don't want a full coverage at the moment. So I've got this slightly blotchy look. If I turn this one over, you'll see the difference in them already. What I'm going to do from there, I'll set that one back. I'm just going to slightly wipe this one so it doesn't pick up too much there. You can still see it's there. I'll clean it up properly later on. I'm now going to go with my brushed corduroy, which is, it's in an ink, so it's that mid brown. Now, I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap because, again, it's hot. I don't want it too dark to start with. And this one, I'm just, see how I'm not doing that circular motion anymore. I'm more or less just wiping it over so that I'm getting that scratched look. It's giving me a different type of patterned paper. So can you see how that's given us like a scratched look? That's what I'm after here. So I didn't want too much on my foam, which is why I got rid of it onto that other piece. And I'm just going down. So now I can press harder because there's not a great deal on that foam. There's not a great deal of foam left on that foam, actually. Looks like I'm up for some new foam because I wear them till they're gone. So I'm going around in circles just to get a little bit of extras going around. Right, now I'm going back and I'm going to just do my edges with that. Some of these edges will be not seen anyway, but so technically, yes, I've got a slightly patterned paper there, or a non-plain paper, but I want to give it a little bit more. So to give it a little bit more, I'm just going to grab my water. Because these were distress inks and oxides, they react to water, which means they're an easy cleanup. So I'll just give that a little spray with water, bit of paper towel, and it's taken it off, which means that I can put something white or very light on there. I didn't clean my mat prior, so it's got a little bit of glue residue. So that's taken that off and stopped it from going onto anything else light if I don't want that colour on there. All right, so back to this one. There really is no up or down with this. It's one of those multi-directional patterns, so it makes no difference where I stamp. This is where I like my... So my book, this one is doilies and frames. So these are all my doilies, or some of my doilies. And I like these sorts of things for doing pattern papers. So if I go back to my original one, this one, there you go, you'll see, I don't know whether you can see it, I'll move that over. So here's this, it's this one. Again, they're a multi-directional one, so it makes no real difference. So I want something, I don't need something too big because this is a smaller paper pad. This I'm thinking might look nice, and they're all going into the bigger ones after that. That one's a nice one too. Now I like this faded out look. So I'm just going to pull this one out And I want this. Just going to sit that on the top so I know where it's going, and then I can tuck that away. Now, so that's this one. I want, because it's not, I'm going all over the page. I'm not using a MISTI or anything else, and I'm just going to freehand stamp these. So that's that. It's not necessarily straight. Do I want it straight? We might try for straight just to start with. Right, now what I'm going to use for this one, I could use a lighter distress ink, but I didn't bring them over because these are the three that I mainly work with, which is my antique linen, my brushed corduroy, and my gathered twigs, which give me my light, mid, dark. My others are sitting over there. What I tend to use for when I'm doing this is I go into the archival inks because I know they're going to dry really quickly. This is Tree Branch, so it's a lighter one. You will have seen me use it quite a bit. And what it'll give me, just bear with me, I'll pop my stamping mat under there. And what it'll give me, if I do it on this to start with, I just want a light. And I want light, so I want them to come out in a faded look. So if I give this a proper stamp, you'll see the difference. So each stamp would be like that, and you get that sort of look. I want that. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm just gonna basically, and off the page, remember, because it's been a pattern paper, and just very lightly give myself a patterned paper like that. That's all I need. We might put one more little bit up there as though we've cut it off from a larger sheet, and a little bit down there. You know, you could just go forever. Okay, so now we've created our double-sided patterned paper. It is such an easy way to do it. I know there's a lot of you out there that don't use stamps, that, I don't know, whether you're scared of stamps, you don't find the reason for them. For me, I think stamps are the most versatile thing that we can have, because we can create anything. We can make any of our digitals or our normal scrapbook paper blend together, because we can create something else that's going to make it all then match. So here's our pattern paper. Pop that one away. And what I want to do to start with is reach my my scoreboard. All right. And all I want is, I want round about half or a quarter, depending on the size of your pattern paper to start with. We might give this one a 1/2 inch one, just so that it's nice and wide and it makes all our measurements nice and easy. So just scoring down there for our 1/2 inch. Let it crease over. That is what you're going to attach it to your page with. Okay, so he will be the bit that's attached to your page. All right, makes sense? What we're going to do from that one is we're going to fold this one back on itself. Okay, so depending on which one you want up, so I've got this way with that one as the back. If you go that way, I want to see that pattern paper actually, so my new pattern paper, let's go that way. All right, so we're like that. This one's going to fold in on itself over here. Technically it should make 3 inches, but depending on your fold to start with, you know, it's far easier just to fold it back on itself. Now, this is an embossed piece, all right? So you've got to watch them occasionally. They might want to tear, but for this, it's going to make no difference. So this one I'm having this way, so that, now, pull this one back out again. So this one's gone on this side. Fold that over. And this one I want somewhere in the front. So let's have a look. You know, so this one could go onto this one so that it folds back that way. Make sense? Yes? No? Yes? Very good. So there's our finished one. So we've gone the opposite direction this time, just to show you can do both. Now, with our next piece of paper, if we fold this one in half, because this is a 6.5, we know 3 1/4 is going to be my halfway mark. Okay? You can just, sorry, I've got my score mat out, so, or you can just fold it straight over. All right, so here's our pocket, but at the moment, our pocket, because we took some of the other off where we folded, if we set that in there now, it's too big. We're going to trim down here. If you set this here, that way, no measurements, set this here, and you'll work out where you want this pocket to go. I want about that much to show. So I'm just going to sit that on there, make a small pencil mark. I want it to come back to about there. Okay, I can put this one away now because I don't need my scoreboard. Bang, crash, wallop, she goes. And I'm going to get my trimmer down to my pencil mark. And that way, if you haven't folded it exactly straight, covers all that up. Hello, Bertha. Right. So this measurement now is at 2 1/2. There's my belly bands. They're done. They're sitting there already done for me. So now I have my pockets, which will be attached in there. We know it's the same length because they're off the same paper pad. I want my little thumb hole, and I'm just going to grab that one. I want my large one for this. So that's this one. And 3 1/4, I'll go round about in the centre. So 3 1/4 is there. I'll pop that one over that, and I'm going to go through both layers at the one time. That's round about even. Beautiful. Okay. So now what I've got, if I fold that onto there, look at that. There's our pocket there, and we turn it over. There's our pocket there. It's all this beautiful stuff, all like that. How's that? I like that. I actually like that. Right. I'm going to ink around this one, and I'm going to give this one a slightly darker look because it's on that craft colour, so I want it to actually show. So very quickly, just going around there and down on that one. And back over for the other side. And down that one. Right. This guy can be stuck together. Would you believe it? It's done. How quick and easy is that? So, to stick this down, we're going to glue down here. And we're going to glue down there. That's it. Now, let's see how this glue is going to go because it is very warm. Right, come on, there we go. Try and stay as close as you can to your edge. That way you get more pocket. The more you deviate further in, the less pocket you'll actually get. So, I'm trying not to get it to come out too quick, so I'm hardly pushing. Because once it starts, it's going to run everywhere. Right, that's it. That's your gluing. So, this one's going to sit here. Oh, shaky, shaky. There, fold that so that it slides all the way up into it. Give that a push. Turn it over. Give that a push. Look at that. Okay. So we're going to go this way, remember? So here's this, folded out. Let's put one of those there. So we've got these as a belly band now, already done. It's sitting there. We've cut it off, so it's sitting there waiting for us. So when we do our belly band, all we need to do is just adhere the top and the bottom. You don't want to take too much. So if this is sitting here and this is sitting here, we just want a little bit over there, which gives us room to pop something like an index card or something like that, a postcard, those sorts of things in there. If you want, right. So we're going to decorate this one a little bit differently. What I want to show you, so I've got a little bit of glue on each side of that. We want to go somewhere in the middle. Is there a middle? Oh, there. That one's my middle. Like that, I think. Right. So that's my belly band. Now with this side, I could do the same sort of thing, but I could have a belly band going that way if I wanted to. Or, as I did with the other one, that's where I made my journaling posse. So if I just, whoops, pull out a little bit of, actually like that side a bit better. Because you can't write on this embossed, this glossy embossed paper, and the distress ink won't take to where it's actually embossed. You could wipe over your distress ink and change the rest of the colour and then just wipe it off, so that, I'll show you in a minute actually. I find that unless I've got an actual just a pocket there, it's pretty useless. Does that make sense without being horrible? But if I put a journaling spot there, I've got something usable there without it adding any more bulk. So that's actually a, here we go. We might just go that one. That's a specialised paper, presentation paper. I'm having so much problems with my words lately. So it is a little bit thicker. So I don't particularly want that one. And I think I've used up all my bigger bits in there. Oh no, here we go. Here we go. Sorry, gonna have to put my arms around there. Right, here's a nice light one, because they create less bulk. And I love these papers, they tear beautifully. So I want this torn edge down here. And I want to tear with a nice edge and the other one. So I'm going about there and about down there and about. So I'm just using my water brush. If it doesn't dry before I get there. Oh, it's so warm. Let's see if I can start it. There we go. All right, where have I gone? Across here, wasn't it? Somewhere. See, it's drying so quickly. Right, now I can do the same to the top. I like this sort of look. You might not. That's fine. You do you. You do what works for you. If you like straight lines, do straight lines. You don't have to ink. If you don't want to ink, don't ink. This is just what I like to do, so doesn't mean because I'm doing it, you need to. The whole idea of this is just to give you ideas. But because I then put them in journals, I ink because that's how I like my journals to go. So, whereas if I haven't inked and put it all together, it's too hard to go around and ink it again. So it doesn't take me long. There we go. So this one's going to sit in here. Now, if I want a stamped image on that, it is far better to stamp on that prior. So let's have a look and see what I've got. Did I use on my last one? I used her. Let's have a look and see what I've got in my what's her name, ladies? My wooden ladies. She's nice, but she's going to take up the majority of it, isn't she? Which way around's this going? That's going that way, so it opens out that way. She's going to take most of it, but it is very nice. She's lovely. I've had this stamp for ages and ages and ages. When did it come out? 2004. So there you go. And just to prove that we can use clear ones, we can use wooden ones, all sorts of stamps. Now, I'm going to stamp her in a sepia, which is the archival ink, in this very old archival ink in the sepia. I do have a re-inker for that one, so I keep re-inking that one. So I'm going to just do her in the sepia, so she's still in those browns, but she's a little bit darker. And I want her this direction, slightly over the page on this side, so that her dress is fairly close. Now we're going to give her a good push, because we can't see with a rubber stamp whether we've got it all or not. We're just going to work our way around her to make sure we've got it all. Ready? There we go. So, you know, stamps, use them, I love them. All right, so that's her. Pop that one back in there. Sepia back in there. Pop that one back in its drawer as well, so it's not sitting there on me. Okay. Here we go. Bang, crash, wallop again. Bang, crash, wallop. All right. So she's going to be adhered onto that. Now, that'll be done with a glue stick, of course. So, just grab my glue mat, which I've just dropped behind my, there it is, which I had sitting behind my sewing machine. All right, so that's this. And again, we need to work really quickly today because it's so hot. Make sure we get all of it. We can go back with our white liquid glue if we've got edges that sit up, but we want the majority of it to be adhered down first up. Now this is a very light paper. It's actually packing paper. You know those ones that come on the sheets with the little perforations every so often? That's that. That's that. Just put that on there. Oh, just put my very gluey glue mat on that. Very lightly, I'm going to work my way around and flatten all that out, because it is it's not normal copy paper, just so that I can flatten it all out. And that's had a good coverage of glue, so that's fine. And so have I. So there she is. Okay, so now it's a matter of doing these. But we've all seen me decorate these. If we get time, we'll do that. But what I want to do is something different with our belly band, remembering that this folds over here. I want to pop, so right now I'm going to find something to tuck in there. Let's have a look. What have I got that's small, that's sitting around, that's pre-done, sitting around, that's flat, that I can reach? You're too big, but you can get the gist. So that's going to sit in here like that, okay? But it's going to be shorter, of course. So we're only looking at that. I want something else along here. Now, and that's where I can play with those bits. These bits. Where were they? These. All right. So I've got little journaling posy there, and I've got that one. So I'm just going to chop them out. I go to that one, to the top of that one. And because I really don't need the words that they've got here. But I do like this one. And I need something to go on the back of that one. But we're not really going to see it. So I can get rid of one of the ones that I know that I'm not going to use. So let's go that one. Right. Move those to the side, back with that paper pad. What I want to do with this is sitting this here and making another pocket. But because that's not going to work like that, so we need to actually make a pocket like so. I'm going to do it that way and then colour that. Look at that. They're not even the same size. We'll trim that down. And that will adhere onto here, which will make a pocket in there. Do we get my gist? So I just need the top of that done. And a little bit of that brown. Just to give it that same sort of backing that we've got there. This one I'm going to pop a finger hole in, but I just want a little circle with this one. So, what is this? And I put my pencil there. It's about there. Like so. So that now I've got a little pocket that I can decorate on the front. Now this is the one that I know I've got the right size. So we're going to and then I'm going to trim the other one up. So if I sit that on there, see how it's quite a bit larger? I want a little bit on that side. So we'll glue this. We'll put the lid on that one first though, because it'll be dead before I know it. That one. So up along the three sides. Down. I'll go to one side of this and then I can just trim the other side. And I can, because it's only little, I can do it with scissors or I can do it with my blade. So we'll use scissors just because we can. And I should be able to get that nice and straight because it is only little. Look at that. Just want to get rid of that core colour in there. That sounds pretty good. Now we can adhere this to the front of our belly band. Okay, so our glue is going to go down the centre. So if I sit that there like that, there we go. Just like that. So what we've now got is a belly band that'll go this way. Always good to check that we haven't glued that bit. And a little pocket for a small tag coming up the top bit. So to decorate this, we will now delve into all our little bits and pieces. So yes, you can use more of your paper pad if you want. Use it all up. For me, I'm going to go into the other elements that I have going in this journal so that it then ties it all into this journal. And that's what I mean. You can make these to that point and set them aside. And then when you go to make a journal, you can adhere it in and then decorate it to match your journal. So my journal at this stage has butterflies and flowers mostly. Okay. I haven't done my front section, so I've done a few. I have started with a few front sections. Okay. So that's what I want to be able to pop in so that it all matches together. So we've got this piece, we've got this piece, we've got this piece, and this one's already done. So really we've only got 3 sections. But I want to do this one, this in my standard thing, and we'll grab some book page. And I've got, there we go, I've actually got some newspaper. Not that one. Just going to give it a backing for a flower. Simple as that. I'm going to need more ink on that one because it's gone. It's all gone. Just on the edges. Now, because this is an old newspaper, I need to be very careful when I'm gluing it, because it does have a tendency to rip. Don't need to do too much. I'll pick it up. Like so. And I'm just going to push it. I'm not going to use my scraper. Right, so if we go into florals, let's have a look. Oh, pulled them all out. Let's go into the floral stickers, because I find these are just so easy these days, especially when I'm being lazy. Do I want florals? Oh, hang on a moment. That's another's down here. Of course, they're under books. That one needs to come out. More books that need sorting through that I picked up last weekend. All right. I just want, see, something like that. Baby's breath doesn't show that well. See, now that's, oh, it's all right. Just had an idea. I want that and I want some numbers. Simple as that. Now, I will need my blade for that one, just to undo them. So I tend to sit them up. You'll see which way's the wrong side, which way's the right side. If you hold it right side up and just keep giving it a little flick, you'll find that the backing, just keep flicking like that, and before you know it, your backing will come away. Okay, there it is. Making sure I'm not going off. Give it a good push so that you can't see the edges. And I'm going to pop some words on, some numbers on there. So let's go my numbers. Right, so I've got my Tim Holtz numbers, I've got my Witchcraft Do I Do numbers, and I've got my Close to My Heart little index numbers on that. So I'm thinking I like that one. So I want one of those. And I want it in a really dark brown. So let's do coffee. And I want just a little strip of paper. That's it. Plain. I'd like a piece of book paint. Oh, here we go. That's a nice colour. Right, so what did we say? 52410. Oops. Some have come out, they need cleaning. So, the red rubber are Tim Holtz. The clear ones are Witchcraft Do You Do? And these little ones are Close to My Heart. I'll set that there. And I'm not even going to use my stamping mat there, but I'm going to go that side for that rough edge. Yep. And I'm just going to tear that. Because that's archival, it's dried really, really quickly. And I don't have to worry about it not drying when I'm tearing around it and then smudging it. So technically he can come out further, so that's okay. I'm going to use that and not do that last little bit. Make sure I'm right at my edges, apart from the last bit that I want off the page. Off the page? You know what I mean. What I do need are my tweezers, because I find the tweezers are easier to sit there and play with when you're trying to sit little bits. Again, double check that you haven't stuck this to your page. Okay, so now we've got our belly band with a little pocket. Right, put you away. Let's do something down here. Let's stick to this with another piece of technically it could be bigger. Let's have a look. What I would like is, Georgia Margot's bigger, isn't it? Yes, that one's bigger. But I love this colour. I think it's just gorgeous. Right. Doesn't need to be very big. I can always pull more off. Right, I'm going to stick that on like that and then trim those edges to that. To start with, I just want to define that little bit there. The rest I can do. Oh no, in saying that, I can't do that, can I? So I need to do that little bit. Love how when they're torn out, you get all these wonderful edges. Right, so that'll go in there like that. Okay, so back to our glue. Put that one away. Put my flowers out because I'm thinking I will want to use those, and I can put my lady back. She'll go in that drawer. I'm just going to turn that over. It's that way up so that I know I have no glue on this side that could be lurking about to rip my piece, because again, this is old book page. All right. Now I'm going to turn that way so that I can see where I'm going and even it up. I'm going to very quickly flick it round, make sure I'm on the edge. Yep, happy with that. Now I'm not pushing very hard, I'm just working my way up. Right, and now we'll trim off our edges. I've still got my scissors here. Like so. I'm going to go that way so I can see it. Right. Oh, sticky. This afternoon I'm going to clean all of them, I think. Right. I have the house to myself. Oh, how wonderful. There's nobody out of a household of 6. There is nobody but me in the house. I love it. I love it. Right. So I love my flower stickers, but they're a bit too light for what I want down here. So we might just go to actual florals. And what else I haven't done it? I'm in the process of changing these over. I had florals small, florals large. I need a florals medium. So, but they're all just been chucked in here at the moment. So, don't mind that one, even though I think it probably should go, I don't know which way it should go, but that will work. Don't like it with pink now. too big. Yeah, so you can see why I need to fix this up. All right, so that's a bit better, but, and I know this is white, but I'm just going to give it an edge around there. Maybe not. I can go over that, and I can put something else on there. So just because I've started to ink in the wrong colour, what I actually think I want to do in that. So I will play with my inks and just keep rearranging until I get what I want. So that's that. And while I'm thinking of that, I'm thinking I want actually a little bit of ink. So I'm going back to that tree branch, which is what I use my tree branch for the most. I'm going with a blending brush like this now. And I'm just going to soften up that edge. So it's still white in there to match in with the white of this. But I'm just going to soften all that up because I've got my different coloured inks in there. And I'll need to put a word or something. Right. Yeah, it's not so stark. It's still the white, but it's not so stark for me. Now, again, all this is personal choice. Right, I need to wipe that archival. And that will need properly cleaning because it's a permanent ink. So I've got that. I want something on here. Look about even, but I want things on here. What about my date stamps? So, ooh. Right, so date stamps would look nice. What have I got that's in a big one that will fit? This one might be nice. That will fit beautifully, and I like that writing. This is, here we go, it's still here. Creative Expressions Clear Stamp Set. So it's all these wonderful, so I've got numbers which have gone into my numbers ones now, and all these beautiful dates, few labels, etc. So yeah, that one came through Which Craft Do You Do as well. So we're looking at that one. And yes, he will fit beautifully in there without overtaking. So we'll stamp that one. No, where's the one I just had? Let's go with that one. Do we want a darker one? There we go. We'll use the same as we used for over there, which means I need a block. I'll put those away, but all right, so there's my block. All right. All right, let's have a look at what it looks like in, say, Acorn. Slightly darker again. Let's play with all our inks. Just because we've started with one doesn't mean that we need to continue. And we'll just see how quickly these are drying. Because I want to tear around it, we'll see if I've got to wait a little while. Just a little bit of a rock to make sure that I get right down to that tip. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. I like that. I'm going to clean that one first. Pop you back over there so I don't lose you. Right. Yeah, I like that colour. I wish I'd done that one in that colour now. But that's all right. And if we look under the light, you can see no shiny bits. So, yes, it has dried. Thinking maybe just the end. No, I need it smaller, so then we'll do what we were going to do in the first place. Now, this is a heavier weight, so it's a bit harder to tear, and if it won't tear properly, I'll grab my water brush out and do that, especially around that bit. Right. Sorry, I may have been off the screen there while I was concentrating on tearing this without tearing my actual stamped image. Yeah, I like that size better. So, but I want, this is me, I want some cheesecloth with it. Colour-wise, the cream, do I want the dark? I think I want the dark. Right, so I don't need much. I just want a little chunk. I don't need those ones for this. I can put that one back. Pop that one back, and we'll have a look. Like that. Just want to rough it up, make it look like it's well loved. And in like that. Don't let me forget I haven't glued those down. Yeah, I like that. Right, we better glue those down because I'd forgotten that I hadn't done that. And they're moving all over the place. So just follow around. Okay. Done. Don't want it going over my pocket. There we go. That'll fit and still show all those lovely bits in there. Now, with this one, I'm going to put a little bit of double-sided tape in that, but I want my narrow one, I think. So this is just a really fine, thin 3mm, 1/8 of an inch, whatever. But it's just enough to catch that cheesecloth. Oops. And then I can gather that cheesecloth up with it. So I want this to sit in here somehow. Don't know whether I want that. Let's have a look. In like that. So what I've done is just set it lightly on there, and it's caught that cheesecloth in the way that I want it. And now I can just put glue on there. I'm not going to use that one. I'll use the fabric glue, and then I think we're done. Right. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope you've enjoyed seeing me decorate it. If you haven't and you've just got the idea of it, all well and good as well. Once again, I want to thank Carol. Thank you so much. I love this. And I can see me making so many of these out of my paper pads. And I love the way they end up. I love, you know me, I love all my flips and tucks and folds and all the rest of that. Grab that because it was stuck on my finger. And yeah, so thank you so much for that, Carol. I love it. Absolutely love it. Right. So there we go. Yes, that one still needs to be done. We've got that one, or if we fold it out, we've got that one, which is our journaling posse. So we'll pull out the original one, which is here, which is that one. Okay. There we go. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please give me a like. Do that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I'd love to have you on board. And for everybody that has already subscribed, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for following along with me. Till next time, happy crafting. Bye.